Today we are reviewing the Airbus A330 MRTT. The Airbus A330 Multi-Role Tanker Transport, or MRTT, is a European aerial refueling and military transport aircraft based on the civilian Airbus A330. A total of 17 countries have placed firm orders for approximately 85 aircraft, of which 66 had been delivered by November 30, 2025. A version of the A330 MRTT, the EADS/Northrop Grumman KC-45, was selected by the United States Air Force for its aerial tanker replacement program, but lost when the program was rebid. According to Airbus, the A330 MRTT has more than 90% of the air-to-air refueling aircraft market share outside the United States. The Airbus A330 MRTT is a military derivative of the A330-200 airliner. It is designed as a dual-role air-to-air refueling and transport aircraft. For air-to-air refueling missions, the A330 MRTT can be equipped with a combination of any of the following systems. 1. Refueling other aircraft. 1.1. Airbus Military Aerial Refueling Boom System, ARBS, for receptacle-equipped receiver aircraft. 1.2. Cobham 905E underwing refueling pods for probe-equipped receiver aircraft. 1.3. Cobham 805E fuselage refueling unit, FRU, for probe-equipped receiver aircraft. 2. Being refueled. 2.1. Universal Aerial Refueling Receptacle Slipway Installation, UARRSI, for self-in-flight refueling. The A330 MRTT has a maximum fuel capacity of 111,000 kilograms, or 245,000 pounds, without the use of additional fuel tanks, leaving space for 45,000 kilograms, or 99,000 pounds, of additional cargo. The A330 MRTT's wing has common structure with the four-engine A340-200/-300, with reinforced mounting locations and provision for fuel piping for the A340's outboard engines. The A330 MRTT's wing therefore requires little modification to use these hardpoints for the wing refueling pods. The A330 MRTT cabin can be modified to carry up to 380 passengers in a single-class configuration, allowing a complete range of configurations from maximized troop transport to complex customizations suitable for VIP and guest missions. Available configurations include 300 passengers in a single class and 266 passengers in two classes. The A330 MRTT can also be configured to perform medical evacuation, or medevac, missions. Up to 130 standard stretchers can be carried. The main deck cargo configuration allows carriage of standard commercial containers and pallets, military, ISO and NATO pallets, including seats and containers, and military equipment and other large items which are loaded through a cargo door. Like the A330-200, the A330 MRTT includes two lower deck cargo compartments, forward and aft, and a bulk area capability. The cargo hold has been modified to be able to transport up to 8 military pallets in addition to civilian unit load devices, or ULDs. An optional crew rest compartment, or CRC, can be installed in the forward cabin, accommodating a spare crew to increase time available for a mission. The passenger cabin of the A330 MRTT can be provided with a set of removable air stairs to enable embarkation and disembarkation when jet bridges or ground support equipment are not available. Standard commercial A330-200s are delivered from Airbus's final assembly line in Toulouse, France to the Airbus Military Conversion Center in Getafe, Spain for fitting of refueling systems and military avionics. The tanker was certified by Spanish authorities in October 2010. The first delivered aircraft, the third to be converted, arrived in Australia on May 30, 2011 and was formally handed over to the Royal Australian Air Force, or RAAF, 2 days later on June 1. On September 30, 2016, Airbus Defence and Space completed the first flight of the new standard A330 MRTT. The new standard features structural modifications, aerodynamic improvements for a 1% fuel burn reduction, upgraded avionics computers, and enhanced military systems. The first delivery was planned for 2018. An Airbus/Saab team proposed an A330-based Airborne Early Warning and Control, or AEW&C, possibly the AWACS variant with Saab's Arieye radar to the UK's Ministry of Defence in 2018 for the replacement of its Boeing E3 Sentry fleet. The boom operators sit at a video console using the Boom Enhanced Vision System. It uses a 3D camera vision system for day and night vision, and ergonomics are significantly improved compared to operating in a prone position. The A330 MRTT plus, you asked? In November 2023, Airbus began de-risking studies for an updated MRTT based on the A330neo, noting that A330-200 production ended in 2018 and very few airframes remain available for MRTT use. In particular, the company is studying the feasibility of fitting the pods for the probe and drogue refueling system onto the A330neo's new wing. The new variant, dubbed MRTT Plus, was announced at the 2024 Farnborough Air Show. Based on the A330-800 and powered by Rolls-Royce Trent 7000 engines, the MRTT Plus achieves 8% better fuel efficiency than the original MRTT. The A330 MRTT has been ordered by Australia, France, the United Kingdom, the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, South Korea, Spain, Canada, and by NATO in a multi-nation deal. Australia was the launch customer for the A330 MRTT. According to Airbus, the A330 MRTT has more than 90% in air-to-air refueling aircraft market outside the United States. Designated as KC-30A, the RAF A330 MRTTs are equipped with both an aerial refueling boom system, ARBS, and two Cobham 905E underwing refueling pods. They are powered by two General Electric CF6-80E1A3 engines, and are configured to carry up to 270 passengers plus 34,000 kilograms of cargo. Australia initially arranged to procure 4 MRTTs with an option to obtain a fifth. This option for a fifth was exercised to allow for 2 simultaneous deployments of 2 aircraft, the fifth being for contingency coverage. Australian KC-30s are operated by No. 33 Squadron RAAF, based at RAAF Base Amberley near Brisbane in Queensland. In 2005, the RAAF expected deliveries to begin in 2008 and end in 2010. Deliveries fell 2 years behind schedule, partly due to boom development issues. On May 30, 2011, KC-30A RAAF serial A39-003, the third converted A330, arrived at RAAF Base Amberley and was formally handed over on June 1, 2011, thus becoming the first MRTT to be delivered to an end user. The second, A39-002, was handed over on June 22, 2011. On December 3, 2012, the fifth KC-30A was delivered to the RAAF. While the first conversion was performed in Spain, Qantas Defence Services converted the other 4 RAF A330-200s at its Brisbane Airport facility on behalf of EADS. In July 2013, there were reportedly delays to the KC-30A's full service entry due to refueling issues, such as the hose and drogue system passing too much fuel. In August 2013, the KC-30A made its debut as a VIP transport, ferrying Prime Minister Kevin Rudd and an entourage to Al Minhad Air Base in the United Arab Emirates. In August 2014, Defense Minister David Johnston announced the country's intention to buy 2 more KC-30As, one with a VIP layout for the Prime Minister's use. In July 2015, Defense Minister Kevin Andrews announced the order of 2 additional KC-30s, to be converted from a 330-200S previously operated by Qantas, for delivery in 2018. In 2016, the decision was made to add a modest VIP fit-out, including seating, meeting spaces and communication facilities, to a single KC-30A, which remains primarily used as a tanker. The 2016 Defense White Paper noted a possible rise in the fleet size to 9, to support new RAAF aircraft such as the Boeing P-8A Poseidon. On September 22, 2014, the RAAF deployed an air task group, including F divided by -18 F Super Hornets, a KC-30A and a Boeing E-7A Wedgetail AEWNC aircraft, to Al Minhad Air Base in the United Arab Emirates, as part of a coalition to combat Islamic State forces in Iraq. The KC-30A started operations days after arriving in the UAE, refueling coalition aircraft over Iraq. On October 6, 2014, The RAAF conducted its first combat missions over Iraq via 2 Super Hornets, supported by the KC-30A. In December 2016, an RAF KC-30A conducted air-to-air refueling trials with a USAF B-1B bomber. The Australian Defence magazine reported in July 2023 that the Australian government was expected to announce an order for 2 additional KC-30 as to increase the RAF's fleet of the type to 9. In January 2004, the UK Ministry of Defence announced the selection of an A330 MRTT variant to provide tanking for the RAF for the next 30 years under the Future Strategic Tanker Aircraft Programme, replacing the RAF's TriStar and VC-10 tankers. The Ministry of Defence entered negotiations with the EADS-led Air Tanker Consortium. On March 27, 2008, a deal was signed to lease 14 MRTTs under a private finance initiative arrangement with Air Tanker, with the first to enter service in 2011. The service's annual cost, including military personnel costs, is around £450 million for a delivery of 18,000 flying hours, a rate of approximately £25,000 per hour. There are 2 versions, designated Voyager KC.Mk2 and Voyager KC.Mk3. The former is fitted with 2 Cobham 905E underwing refueling pods, the latter with a Cobham 805E fuselage refueling unit in addition to the underwing pods. None are fitted with the aerial refueling boom system. All Voyagers are powered by a pair of Rolls-Royce Trent 772B-60 engines. By May 2014, 9 aircraft had been delivered, completing the core fleet. Further deliveries were for a surge capability, available to the RAF when needed, but otherwise available to Air Tanker for release to the civil market, less its military equipment or to partner nations in a military capacity with the MODS agreement. By March 14, 2016, all 14 Voyagers had been delivered. In November 2015, it was announced that a Voyager would be refitted to carry government ministers and members of the royal family on official visits. The refit cost £10 million, but was claimed to save roughly £775,000 annually compared to charter flights. ZZ336 is fitted with 158 seats, 100 standard seats at the rear and 58 VIP seats at the front, and is known as Vespina. It entered service on May 6, 2016. Prime Minister David Cameron made his first flight on it to attend the 2016 Warsaw NATO Summit. In June 2020, ZZ336 was repainted using the colors of the Union flag at the request of Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Although undertaken as a part of routine maintenance, the cost was stated to be approximately £900,000. Because the RAF's Voyagers are only capable of probe and drogue refueling, they are unable to refuel current or future RAF aircraft that are fitted solely for flying boom refueling, including the Boeing RC-135, Boeing C-17 Globemaster III, Boeing 737 AEWNC, and Boeing P-8 Poseidon. In April 2016, the RAF stated its interest in fitting a boom to some Voyagers, bringing its fleet into line with other MRTT operators. Fitting a boom would add flexibility to the RAF Voyagers, allowing refueling of RAF aircraft not fitted for probe and drogue, and also by other air forces that operate boom-refueled aircraft. On November 18, 2022, an RAF Voyager completed the world's first 100% sustainable fuel military transporter flight, as part of the RAF's plan to become net zero by 2040. A330 MRTT. An Airbus A330-200 converted by Airbus Military for air refueling duties. CC-330 Husky. Royal Canadian Air Force designation for an A330 MRTT with 2 underwing refueling pods and an aerial refueling boom system. KC-30A. Royal Australian Air Force designation for an A330 MRTT with 2 underwing refueling pods and an aerial refueling boom system. KC-45A. United States Air Force designation for an A330 MRTT with 2 underwing refueling pods and an aerial refueling boom system. The bad news is, the order was cancelled. KC-330 Cygnus. Republic of Korea Air Force designation for an A330 MRTT with or without 2 underwing refueling pods and an aerial refueling boom system. Voyager KC-2. Royal Air Force designation for an A330 MRTT with 2 Cobham 905 underwing pods, primarily used for refueling fast jets. Voyager KC-3. Royal Air Force designation for an A330 MRTT with 2 underwing pods and a Cobham fuselage refueling unit for a centerline refueling capability, primarily used for refueling large aircraft. A 330 MRTT Plus. Update of the base airframe to the A330-800. As of December 31st, 2025, a total of 85 A330 MRTT had been ordered from Airbus Defence and Space. 66 have been delivered. Australia. Royal Australian Air Force. 7 operational. RAAF Base Amberley. Number 33 Squadron. France. French Air and Space Force. 15 aircraft ordered with 13 delivered. Royal Netherlands Air and Space Force. 12 aircraft ordered with 9 delivered as of June 2025 for NATO's Multinational Multi-Role Tanker Transport Fleet, or MMF. All aircraft are registered as Dutch military aircraft. Participating air forces are Belgium, Czech Republic, Denmark, Germany, Luxembourg, Norway, Sweden, and the Netherlands. Saudi Arabia. Royal Saudi Air Force. 6 operational and 4 aircraft on order. Number 24 Squadron. Singapore. Republic of Singapore Air Force. 6 operational. Number 112 Squadron. South Korea. Republic of Korea Air Force. 4 operational. 5th Air Mobility Wing. Spain. Spanish Air and Space Force. 3 aircraft ordered. 2 aircraft delivered. United Arab Emirates. United Arab Emirates Air Force. 5 operational. Air Refueling Squadron. United Kingdom. Royal Air Force. 14 delivered. 7 KC-2S, 5 KC-3S, and 2 fitted out as KC-3S. Aircraft owned by Air Tanker Services, commonly known as Air Tanker, which operates or wet leases out aircraft not required by RAF tasking. Number 10 Squadron. At RAF Breise Norton, Oxfordshire. Number 101 Squadron. At RAF Breise Norton, Oxfordshire. Number 1312 Flight. At RAF Mount Pleasant, Falkland Islands. 1X Voyager KC-2. There are a few future operators. Here they are. Brazilian Air Force. 2 former civilian aircraft ordered 2022, but unfortunately, the order is not listed in Airbus O&D report as of December 31st, 2025. Canada. Royal Canadian Air Force, 9 ordered. Consists of 4 new build and 5 conversion airframes. 8 aircraft will be configured as true multi-role tanker transports, in operational grey livery, while 1 aircraft will undergo VIP configuration, in white livery. 437 Transport Squadron. Airbus CC-330 Husky. Thailand. Royal Thai Air Force, RTAF has ordered an Airbus A330 Multi-Role Tanker Transport Plus, MRTT Plus. The final delivery to customer in 2029. Accident number 1. On January 19, 2011, an air refueling accident occurred between a boom-equipped A330 MRTT and a Portuguese Air Force General Dynamics F-16 Fighting Falcon over the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Portugal. Early reports indicated that the boom broke off at the aft end of the boom near the F-16's receptacle, causing the boom to recoil into the MRTT's underside. The boom then became uncontrollable and oscillated until it broke off the boom assembly at the pivot point. Both aircraft were damaged but landed safely. The A330 MRTT involved was an Airbus test aircraft destined for the RAAF, operated by an Airbus crew. At the time of the incident, Airbus had not yet begun deliveries. On September 10, 2012, an A330 MRTT's refueling boom detached in flight at an altitude of 27,000 feet, or 8,200 m, in Spanish airspace. The boom separated cleanly at a mechanical joint and fell to the ground, while the tanker landed safely in Getafe without any injuries. The fault was attributed to a conflict between the backup boom hoist, fitted to the UAE-destined MRTTs, and the primary boom retraction mechanism, as well as to the test conducted. Airbus later explained that the malfunction was not possible under ordinary operating conditions, and that procedures had been implemented to avoid similar incidents in the future. Following the incident, the Instituto Nacional de Técnica Aeroespacial, Spain's airworthiness authority, issued precautionary restrictions to other users of boom-equipped A330s. On February 9, 2014, a Royal Air Force A330 MRTT Voyager carrying 189 passengers and 9 crew from RAF Brize Norton to Camp Bastion suddenly lost 4,440 feet, or 1,350 m, of altitude in 27 seconds and reaching a maximum descent rate of 15,000 feet per minute, 4,600 m/min, while the co-pilot was out of the cockpit. The sudden descent caused several injuries to passengers and crew, some of whom struck the ceiling of the aircraft. The co-pilot returned to the cockpit, regained control, and the aircraft diverted to Incirlik Air Base and landed without further incident. The incident resulted in the grounding of the entire RAF Voyager fleet for 12 days, until it was determined that the event was caused by the captain's improperly stowed DSLR camera being jammed between the captain's armrest and the side stick, forcing the stick forward when the captain adjusted his seat forward. On June 20, 2025, members of the Palestine Action Activist Group infiltrated RAF Brize Norton in an act of protest towards the United Kingdom's support of Israeli actions in Gaza. The group sprayed red paint on the airframes and engines of 2 MRTTs using tools such as a modified fire extinguisher. The grounding of the aircraft, which were stated to be damaged, would not impact the RAF's mission, with Armed Forces Minister Luke Pollard stating that the activities of the RAF were unaffected. Here are the general characteristics for the Airbus A330 MRTT. And now the performance. And that concludes our review of the Airbus A330 MRTT. Next week we'll review the Boeing KC-46 Pegasus, an American military aerial refueling and strategic military transport aircraft developed by Boeing from its 767 jet airliner. This is Kaylee Chan, signing off.